Hey class, Mr. Hellson here, and get ready to blast off on another space science lesson. We're transitioning to part 2 of space science, so we're kind of moving away from scale and size and more into the Earth's shape and how we experience seasons on Earth, and then we'll get into some space exploration. So let's begin part 2 of space science. Once again, if you haven't done these lessons yet, make sure you go back and do the space science lessons that you haven't done yet, because some of this may not make sense if you haven't done the earlier lessons yet. Let's begin. So today we're going to focus on the Earth's shape. Come on, people, it's not flat. So we're going to be looking at that and why some people think that, and we're going to be compiling, getting evidence for the Earth's shape, its true shape, that is, at the end of today. So, most people like to say that the Earth is round, but that's not actually an accurate enough description. So, a lot of times we say the Earth's round, and yeah, it's true, it is round, but round it's not quite the best way to describe the Earth because, well, yeah, lots of things are round. Things like plates are round, but they're also flat. You can cut a round circle piece of paper, and that's round. So some people who don't believe that the Earth, or some people that believe that the Earth is flat, will say, yeah, it's flat and round. It's flat and round like a plate. Yikes. We're all learning this because, well, especially in the last couple of years, and sometimes because of YouTube, a lot of people are believing that the Earth is flat. I think some people might be lacking critical thinking skills or something, and we'll talk about why that is. So the Earth isn't just round. There's another, more accurate term we can use to describe the Earth. And I want you to think about that. How can we be more accurate? Can you think of the name of a 3D circle? Three-dimensional circle is one way. So you can go ahead and pause if you need and think about that. Maybe you can say it to yourself or say it out loud. What is that shape that I'm thinking of? Now you might be thinking of the shape of a ball. Yeah, round like a ball. Basketball, play ball. The Earth it's round like this. This is what we see. We see different models of the Earth, three-dimensional models, and it looks just like a ball. And that's pretty close, yeah. But there's a name for the shape of a ball. We may have used it in math before. It's called a sphere. A sphere is a three-dimensional circle. You can see in the drawing there. Obviously, this is 2D on the screen, but the drawing shows what a three-dimensional object would look like with the lines. You can see the lines on the surface and the transparent lines. That's how you draw a three-dimensional shape to make it appear as it is 3D. That is a sphere. The Earth is a type of sphere. A basketball is a sphere. A soccer ball is a sphere. A dodgeball is a sphere. A bouncy ball is a sphere. That's the shape. But we can even be a little bit more accurate than that. And we'll just say the Earth is a sphere in 5th grade, but I wanted to give you guys the real science, the get down to the nitty gritty stuff you might talk about in high school or even college. To be more accurate than just sphere, the Earth is actually kind of shaped like an orange, which is pretty funny enough. It's not a perfect sphere by any means, even though in pictures from far away it looks, pretty perfect, but that's because we're so far away. But it's actually close to a shape of an orange. Now, that doesn't mean it is orange or it has a little stem at the top of it, but it's kind of squashed. And the term for that is an oblate spheroid. An oblate spheroid. It's kind of round and squashed and goes out to the sides a little bit. It's not a perfect sphere, and it's actually pretty lumpy too. There's and I'm not just talking about like mountains, but the different elevations and parts of a oblate spheroid. It's not perfect, but when we're so far away, you can't really see those imperfections when we're looking at pictures of the Earth. So technically, it's an oblate spheroid. Are you going to need to know that? No, I mostly want you to know that it's a sphere, but if you want to get really nerdy with me, it's technically an oblate spheroid. So you might be wondering, why are you telling us this, Mr. Huddleston? Why are we having this lesson in 5th grade? I've known since kindergarten that the Earth is a sphere. It's round like a ball. What the heck? We've learned this stuff forever. Well, like I said in the beginning, some people choose not to believe that. And so we're going to look into why that is and hopefully have some evidence that we know. I think some people might actually be pretty smart, but um, they just choose to believe it's flat because of what they perceive. Sometimes we just assume because we've been told that the Earth is round or spherical that it just is that we just accept that, and then they second guess the evidence. But well, I'm here to show you the real evidence and all sorts of ways that we can show that the Earth is a sphere. So things like this happen.
California man is getting ready to launch himself into the air in a homemade rocket to prove that the Earth is flat. This is Mike Hughes right here, and that rocket, he says it will send him into the air at about 500 miles an hour tomorrow. The group called Research Flat Earth is sponsoring this trip. The end goal, yes, I'm just telling you what we know. Okay. The end goal is to get pictures of the Earth from miles above that prove astronauts lied about Earth's shape. Hughes has sort of done this before. He flew a quarter-mile in a homemade rocket in Arizona in 2014 and ended up hurt and didn't end up with those flat Earth.
So people will believe so strongly that astronauts lied, that everything is a conspiracy, that some of them are willing to get in a rocket ship, a homemade rocket ship, to try and prove that the Earth is flat and not spherical. Sadly, this guy, he's actually like a stuntman. Sadly, he died pretty recently, actually, trying to do this. Not this case. This is actually an older clip. So people are very, very strong in their beliefs about this or about the conspiracy of this. And you might be thinking, like, just why? Oh God, why? Why would someone do this? And a lot of it is about doubt in science and just our perceptions. Because to us on Earth, it seems flat to us because we're so small and we stick to the ground and all that. This is the picture of what some people believe, and you'll see some of this in the video, that it's round, but it's flat like a plate, and that there's a dome over it, and like the sun is much closer, and the Arctic's frozen part is around the outside like this. But back to why. The Earth does appear flat to us from what we can perceive, but we can only perceive a limited distance. When we look out into a flat field and we see to the horizon and maybe trees or mountains, it can look very flat in some places, especially if you've ever been to the Midwest and places like Nebraska or Kansas. But we can only perceive a small part of the Earth. Remember when we were looking at scale and just how tiny we are on that portion of the Earth. So the Earth is spherical. It is round like a ball, but we perceive it as flat from where we are. Now, there are lots of ways that we can show that the Earth is a sphere. One is now we have obviously photographic evidence. We have been to space. We currently have astronauts in the International Space Station floating above, somewhere up there. When we had astronauts go to the moon, they were much further, and could take a picture of the whole Earth. But before that, hundreds of years before that, people could prove the shape of the Earth. And I'm not going to tell you them all now. They will be in the videos, and that will be your job today, is to find that evidence. Today you'll find evidence for the Earth's shape. Use these videos to list ways that we prove the Earth's shape. This evidence can be used later, oops, I forgot my R, to write an argument to convince someone that the Earth is spherical. So I will have several links to videos for you to watch. Your job in a Google document will be to just list out those different ways that we can prove the Earth's shape. All right. That's all I have for you guys today. Watch the videos, write down some evidence, And that's it for today. All right. See you guys next time.